up, you chartreuse goose? How you feeling? How you living? I promised you I would talk about the working girls the other day in the live stream, and I got an image. I got a photo I'm going to show you to prove that the late 60s, 1970s women's movement, feminism, did not destroy America, and it was not the first time women had worked in history. Unlike some right-wing schnoobs. I just made that word up, schnoobs. Some of these right-wing grifters want to make you believe that, like, you know, trad wifing, where women just stay home and don't work, is like what's going to make America better. And I say, listen, if you're into that, okay, but don't try to pretend that American women don't have a history of working in this country. Don't pretend like the 70s birthed that movement. Don't try to pretend like that can't happen because the billionaire mouthpieces you right-wing grifters work for won't pay people enough to have a single family worker in a home. I would love to go back to the days of just a man or just a woman working and being able to survive and buy a house and go on vacation and do all that stuff. But the right-wing grifters, who ultimately are just mouthpieces for their money masters, want you to believe that, you know, feminism had something to do with it. I think it made America more awesome. Feminism is for everybody. I'm a feminist. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're also going to talk about Bill Belichick being one of the grossest men to walk this earth, and not in like a weird creep. Well, no, in a weird creep way. But not in like a went to an island way. In a different kind of weird creep way. We're also going to talk about trickle up economics. This is Donald Trump's DJT, as you might have seen him sign things. And I put on the tinfoil hat and I say, DJT, what could that J stand for? Jeffrey Epstein's best friend? Wow, it's right in front of your eyes, folks. So the conspiracy theorist in me sees DJT and I go, Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Taco Trump, is doing this thing called trickle up economics. Reagan, Phyllis, what's up? Good to see you, Phyllis. I've seen your comments. Phyllis, are you the Phyllis I know from the olden days? Or because you said you found me in comments. And I went, is this the Phyllis I know? I don't want to say too much personal information, but do we know each other from a long time ago? The city of lights. No, that's Paris. The city that never sleeps. Yes? Get the fuck out of here. For real? And again, I don't want to go into personal stuff, but if it's really you, God bless you. I miss you. How you doing? Because I seen that name and I say, I know one person with that name that I love. That's very dear to my heart. That I hope that's her. What's up, Vanilla Danilla? So if it really is you, I send you so much love. And it is so good to hear from you and see you. Now, back to my tirade. Because we got to set this country fucking straight, okay? And by the way, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. My name is Rob. I do a live news commentary live stream. I call it newsmentary. I call it newsmentary because it's commentary. Even when you watch Fox News, MSNBC, CNBC, CNBC, I don't know, all them fucking letters, okay? It's all commentary. Nobody's feeding you the news. I seen a meme. We'll go through the... I've been with you from day one. That's correct. I seen a meme that said, let me see if I can grab. We'll go through some meme news. But first, let me say, Donald Jeffrey Epstein's best friend, Trump, he's doing this thing called trickle up economics, and I'm going to show you how that works and why you need to be very aware of this criminal in chief. But let me see if I can find the meme. Let's go through some of the memes. Don't forget, best friends. The reason he's invading our states is because he's trying to distract from people talking about that. But I want to see if I can find the meme. Tell me I took a picture of it. Come on, Rob. Don't be a dummy. Here it is. This is very important to understand. And for you old heads, I'm an old head, but I didn't live through the Nixon Watergate stuff. Although I did read and see movies and documentaries and YouTube stuff about it. So I do understand the weather underground. God bless you people, if you're still out there. This Tennessean said, Throughout this whole mess, no one has failed America like its press. Had the modern press, today's press, covered Watergate, Nixon, he would have got away with everything. Shame on the journalists of America. You're an absolute disgrace and you have failed your sacred duties. So that's why I say I do commentary and I'm honest about it. And when somebody asked me in the chat the other week, they were like, are you biased? I said, yes, I'm very biased. You know, I'm biased for my neighbors, for you, for the workers in this country. Even some of you that make six figures and think that you're not grouped in with the working class, I got news for you. If you wake up and go to work every day, you're part of the working class. So I am biased for you, my friend. Okay? And why? Because Donald Jeffrey Epstein, Trump, taco tits, old McCankles, who has a goddamn... He's got a muffin top on his cankles. And some people were like, Joe Biden's too old. It's like, what do you think this orange fruit pie is? You think he's the spry of his youth? But these people, man, they think that, you know, Fox News isn't just Rupert Murdoch's mouthpiece. It is. So I'm very biased, but I'm biased for you and I. Just so we can lay a little baseline, so I can gauge your temperature. When you call me Antifa, just know I'm proud to be anti-fascist, and so is my grandfather who fought in World War II. I don't think any American should have to call Uber instead of an ambulance, and minimum wage should be a living wage where you can, as FDR put it, go on recreation. So we're going to talk about trickle up economics, which is happening right now. Let's go through some meme news because I like to hit them. Oh, Resonance Kinetics. What's up? Salutations, wonderful folks. Hope you all having a great day. I hope you are too. I hope you, wherever you are, whenever you watch us, summer, winter, spring, or fall, all you got to do is call and I'll live stream. You got a live stream. Whenever you're watching this, I hope, you know, you're enjoying the simple pleasures in life. Because it looks like that's all we got. That's all we got. And we're going to try a new segment today. I'll unveil it right now because I don't want to tease it too hard. We're going to do the segment, Have You Even Said Thank You to all the stuff that's going on. Because remember a few years ago, people said, not my president. Thanks, Joe Biden. Thanks, Obama. Some of these morons are still doing it. But I figured it's only appropriate now that we have the chicken supreme in chief, the Lord cult leader Taco. I think we should have a segment called Have You Even Said Thank You Yet? And we're going to go over some news. But first, the memes. Oh, that's news. Sorry, that's news. Don't you peek at the news. Don't you dare peek at the news. How dare you? What are you trying to get informed? Where's the memes? Where'd the memes go? Here they are. Coming to your town. Over 330 hospitals will be forced to close or scale back services due to Republican legislation that ultimately guts $400 billion in critical funding. And here's the map. This is horrific, and this is also why I say quite often, take off the red, take off the blue. I'm not a Democrat, never have been, never will be. I don't believe if we voted for all Democrat that we would get universal health care, but out of the Republicans and diet Republicans, Republican light, that's what I call the Democrats, they're at least not sadists. You know what I mean? Like the Republicans, this is a clear out war on the people, the citizens of this country, because to cut funding for hospitals. Wait, maybe you don't know what a hospital is. A hospital thing is that everybody, regardless of political affiliation, goes to when you're in need of some kind of cure or you're ill or surgery. It doesn't, political affiliation has nothing to do with that. So with that being said, hospitals are a good thing, irregardless of where they are. And to cut funding would just be, you know, how do I put this? How do I make it simple for those who might not understand? To cut funding for things like hospitals would be a bad thing for all people. And that's what's going on right now. So just understand, it's never too late to say, I was duped. Uh, these people have tricked me. It's a class war, not a culture war. And they're harming us. We already pay more for healthcare in America while our life expectancy goes down. But this, when you start seeing this stuff, I mean, it's going to get worse. And this stuff doesn't happen overnight. So just beware. Let's see what else. Oh my Christ. The thing that happened to Minnesota. Was it Minnesota? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is absolutely horrific. I don't have much to say because my stance is, I don't know. Here's my stance. Every other country's figured it out. No way to prevent this. Says only nation where this regularly happens. And when you just start looking at the numbers, you'd find a solution. It's horrific. My heart goes out to them. But again, you know, these similarities with the situation, the perpetrator, the victims, I don't know. When is America going to wake up and say this has nothing to do with political affiliation? Hey, what's up, CJ? Good to see you. When are Americans going to wake up and stop thinking it's about owning a lib or drinking fascist tears, like I like to say and put on my merch, even though I haven't created that merch yet, copyright patent pending. But when are people just going to wake up and say our communities are poisoned by the politicians who do nothing, doing nothing? Absolute nothing. So my heart is broken for those people and those kids. Life's forever changed, and the only thing, you know, that I'm praying for right now is that when they do the interviews, because the media is complicit if they're not, you know, saying, why is America this up? Why? You know, if they're not doing some serious introspection, the only thing you could pray for is some parent or some rogue witness to get interviewed and call out all these punks out, you know, call all the politicians out. Blue, red, green, yellow, I don't give a shit. If you're in power and you're doing nothing today, you're not doing your job. Where else are we in the meme news? All right, let's go off of the meme. Wait, do I have some more? I do have more meme news. I promised you I'd show you this. I showed it to you yesterday. Because people like to dunk on me, saying, oh, you're from Massachusetts, that state sucks. And I say, if you're saying that from the state of Texas, where I can't bring a pound of weed to Texas without going to jail, then your state sucks. And are you really free? Huh, Joe Rogan? I'm just kidding. I know some people in Texas. Good people. State has done them wrong. Same with Georgia and New Hampshire. You can't be a legal consenting adult that just goes to a store to buy medicine, cannabis, in one state and then cross an imaginary line to another and all of a sudden you're classified as a criminal. Does that sound free to you? You chartreuse goose. I keep saying that because it bumped into my head and I can't get it out. But I wanted to show you this because you can see all the beautiful fives, the only state with the 6, Minnesota. You can see some fives over here. And then let's take a look at the middle of the country where it's heavily Republican-led. Well, look at that, a bunch of ones. What I found interesting about this meme, and again, I bring you the news in meme form, and I equate it to, like, when I was a kid, I used to love the funny pages. Love the funny pages. Oh my God, let me get my hands on them funnies. But I didn't know some of those funnies were subversive. Calvin and Hobbes. Weren't they like a nihilist and an anarchist? I don't know. Maybe I read too much into it. But I knew that those funnies, those cartoons in that Sunday paper was like the street art on Wall Street. It was like graffiti on the bowl. It was sending a different message, and it could speak to anybody. Arizona is Democrat-led, and it's getting shoddy. And so is New Mexico, Colorado, Utah. All right, we got a JG in here. You can see this the thing they call, well, the Bible Belt's really over here. But I would say this is heavily, I mean, they're even trying to right now in Texas, and I'm just going off of the worst states, you know, is majority Republican. And that's why I bring you the meme news, so we can easily comprehend it. That's what I was getting to about the funnies. This is kind of me showing you the Sunday funnies of meme news. YouTube, are you hearing this stuff? You should be giving me my own genre. Give me the newsmentary genre, right? Philly DeFranco, you got nothing on me. Nothing. You sit on a fence. And we know what we say about fence riders, right? They must have nothing in their nethers, because to sit on a fence, my Christ, pick a position. Pick a side, folks. Pick a side. But here, it was very interesting to see the metrics included: median household income, poverty rate, education attainment, life expectancy, and violent crime. Median home price, what does this say? For metrics 1, 3, and 4, higher than the average, better than, and 4 metrics, 2, 5, and 6. Wait, whatever. Oh, it's down in the bottom. It's down in the bottom where I wanted you to read it. Oh, you're going to have to read it without me. I can't read that small print. But I'll share this in my community post. So hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll share that in my community post. And before we get into some of the news, like the working girl, I'm going to show you the working girl, because I feel like some of these people, they prey upon the folks that didn't learn their history and don't understand their history. And it's not good for us. That's why I advocate for free higher education like Denmark does. You know, make America Denmark again, folks. We need to have higher education, whatever you want to pursue, paid for by taxes. Preferably by the billionaires' taxes. They can afford more taxes. Tax billionaires into extinction. Let me check the comments before we get into this. Thank convicted felon Taco. Yeah, yesterday was funny. Oh, what's up, Meng Hao? I don't know what he's talking about, but, or she, my apologies, I don't mean to misgender. Massachusetts is one of the worst states in the country. Just me. Are you just trying to brag about how stupid you are? I can't figure out some people. I'd like to think you're smarter than that, but I don't know if you've ever been to Cape Cod. What's going on, man? Good afternoon, Kevin Hawthorne. I tip my hat to you. How are you doing down south? Hopefully life is lovely. You found something to enjoy today. May the Lord bless all your days. Like golf, lower, better, or no? No. By the way, outlaw golf. Abolish golf. Put up public housing on all golf courses. Funny how you think taxing the rich is a punishment. Explain that. So like golf, no. The only state in the country that got a 6 was Minnesota. That means that they have, you know, highest educated, highest medium household income, lowest poverty rate, XYZ. So the higher numbers are the better. And then that's why I wanted to read down here, because it gave a breakdown of like highest percentage of educated people. Obviously, you can see that clearly in all the 5s. But again, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll post this. I think I already posted it to my community post, and I'll post it in my Discord, link down below. But I wanted to do some meme news. Just me. I have no problem with public housing next to me. I live next to public housing. Yeah, God, you know, I'm just not going to engage with stupid, you know. Sometimes you just can't engage with stupid. You just can't do it because they're not here to actually have a discussion or progress anything. Some people, here's a life lesson. I've been on this earth for many spinning multipliers, or whatever they call it, years. And let me tell you something. Some people, the only way they feel good is knowing other people suffer, okay? And those people can't be saved. For the rest of you, let's remind everybody, the reason Donald Trump is doing all this, trickle up economics, and the reason he invaded DC, instead of housing people, housing the homeless, which would have cost like $45 a day, he sent the military, which is costing $550 per soldier, per guard deployed per day. So instead of just, you know, finding the answer and saving us taxpayer money, he's using your military, wasting it, because now they're picking up trash in DC. They're not even doing anything else. But the reason he's sending, we talked about it yesterday, he's contemplating 19 more states, a lot of them Republican-led, we'll see if that happens, is because he's distracting. He doesn't want you talking about how he was best friends with Epstein, he's in the files, and even other Republicans know it. And we're going to get to our new segment. Have you even said thank you? We're going to get to that in a bit. But I want to talk about the working girls because I feel like we need to have a little history, a little education at some point. Oh, by the way, another meme, I seen this. Holy schnikels. Aged like milk. Oh, and then this, I see this too. The one thing workers want is higher real wages, but in Biden economy, no luck. In 2021, every single Republican voted against raising hacks, frauds. And then, of course, I'll share this in the community post. I'm not going to let you read it right now for those who can read. I know some of you might struggle. Here, this is what I wanted to talk about. Maybe where you live, there might be a rich history of labor nearby. And I'd encourage you to learn about it, find out. Oh, no. It's going to block me from doing this. Hold on. I'll be back. I'll be right back.